For all the latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020. Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCW Life Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And we were hard pressed to find a camera that wasn't blowing all over the place, but here's our cross camera, and yes, it's blowing all over the place. Winds today between 20 and 25 miles an hour, gusts around 30 and even higher in some locations. Also some scattered sprinkles around north central Washington today. This all leading into more rain as we move into the latter part of the week. But first, let's talk more about the winds. We will see sustained winds all day today of 15 to 25. Gusts may even top out at 40 miles an hour. That'll be later on. We're the area that is included along with the Columbia Basin and the Spokane area, the Palouse. And late tonight, that wind should die down a little bit, but we're keeping an eye on that fire in the Soap Lake area because of these gusty winds. More weather for you a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. The East Wenatchee City Council began its Tuesday night meeting in executive session to discuss its new member. Chelan City Council will meet in special session tonight to discuss the final construction contract for the Wooden Avenue Bridge Rehabilitation Project. And Douglas County Commissioners yesterday approved a one-year moratorium on the outdoor use of large shipping containers for Bitcoin mining. But first, we begin tonight. The Gateway Project, Park Project at the foot of 9th Street in East Wenatchee is on hold until the City Council can decide on moving forward with higher than expected costs. Discussion on a motion to approve an increase of nearly $130,000 in project costs drew comments both for and against at last night's City Council meeting.
It's just really a bother to me that we're spending this much money down there. And our first discussion about the cost of that was here, and now it's our projected, and I emphasize projected, is here. I don't know how much higher it's going to go.
The evolution of this project has brought us to where we are now, and I think the responsible thing is for us to move forward and basically do what the citizens who have participated in communicating on this have asked us to do.
I would personally like to see the city come up with some additional funding from some grants or some sponsors. There are lots of, I'm sure there are 20 or 30 or 40 different organizations we could go to and ask, would you be willing to come up with some of the money for this and see if they go with it? I don't think the city of East Wenatchee should pay for the whole thing.
I think our due diligence with the community and getting feedback was really well received. We had a lot of community input. They weighed in heavily, I think, on this and overwhelmingly supported this project.
Following the discussion, Mayor Steve Lacey put the motion to a vote.
So all those in favor of the motion, raise your hands. Those opposed? It's 3-3. That's motion does not carry. It's not necessarily defeated. I guess we'll have another council member in a couple of weeks. We can do some more research. Back up. Somebody else might change their mind between now and then. You never know. All right.
Are you not able to break a tie?
I can't break a tie with this fund when it involves an ordinance or a spending project.
Since the motion did not pass, Mayor Lacey tabled the two other motions related to the Gateway Park project until a future meeting. The East Wenatchee City Council began its Tuesday night meeting in executive session to discuss its new member. NCW Life's Eric Granstrom was there and has the story.
I move Shane Magdoff is our newly elected, I hope.
Shane Magdoff was appointed to the vacated seat of retired Councilwoman Sandra McCourt last night during the East Wenatchee City Council's meeting.
Again, by vote of hands, all in favor of that motion, raise your hands.
There were so many good candidates, and everybody spoke well and from the heart and cares about the community. So I actually did not think that I would be the one chosen. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, it is me.
A relative newcomer to the Valley, Magdoff says that even though she's only lived in East Wenatchee for 3 years, she's a regular at City Council meetings.
I retired here, wanted to be involved in a community that was engaged and growing, but not too fast. And so I really did begin volunteering in a lot of places. I've actually come to the City Council meetings since I was here for the last 3 years. And I applied thinking that, or believing that I had a lot of qualities and qualifications that I could offer and add to the council members.
With the council deadlocked on whether to move forward with the Gateway Park project, Magdoff says she's looking forward to learning additional information from staff.
Well, I've been involved with the city council meetings, and I know all about the Gateway project, and I was here when they opened it to the public, and I've seen the processes. So I'm pretty comfortable in what I'm going to vote. I would like, when I go to the workshop, to hear a little bit more about the funding from Nick. So, I'm okay with that.
Magdoff will take her oath of office at the next City Council meeting and says she will run for the position in the next election. Reporting in East Wenatchee, I'm Eric Granstrom for NCW Life Channel News.
Chelan City Council will meet in special session tonight to discuss the final construction contract for the Wooden Avenue Bridge Rehabilitation Project, with final action on the project contract expected tonight as well. The special session is for council members' discussion and public input that will only be taken on council's approval. The meeting starts at 6 p.m. at Chelan City Hall. Well, Douglas County Commissioners yesterday approved a one-year moratorium on the outdoor use of large shipping containers for Bitcoin mining. Commissioner Dan Sutton says the ban only applies to standalone shipping containers.
It simply requires that the said cargo container be enclosed on all sides and not be visible from any angle, which just in essence means 4 walls and a roof. They're certainly welcome to use those under those conditions, and the moratorium is for a period of a year. It'll give us time to take a look at this, the aesthetics, and look at the language and make sure that we've listened to all people's and concerns. As a commissioner, I can't see an area where they could, give a valid argument why a bare cargo container in public view would be a good thing without covering on it. But we'll take a look at it. We'll listen to everybody and listen to what they have to say.
The commissioners took action following a public hearing in Waterville Tuesday morning. Interim controls on the use of shipping containers was adopted back in April. It was determined that the unregulated placement of cargo containers for cryptocurrency mining had created unanticipated and undesired visual impacts within the county's industrial zoned areas. Coming up next, a motorcyclist was killed yesterday in a crash along State Route 20 along the North Cascades Highway. A driver involved in a one-vehicle crash in the Orondo area last night was seriously injured when he was ejected onto the roadway. And all evacuations have been lifted in the Soap Lake fire area. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
I've grew up with an addicted father. I became an addict myself, so we lost everything. We were homeless, so we found ourselves in a tent. That changed everything for me. The Work First program got me in touch with Goodwill. I could partner with Goodwill and get on-the-job training and get paid for it. It was the best decision that I've ever made. They didn't care that I had a background. They saw something inside of me. When people donate to Goodwill, they're actually helping fund these programs that I was involved in. I owe everything to Goodwill. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Welcome back. In another news, a motorcyclist was killed yesterday in a crash along State Route 20. That's along the North Cascades Highway. State troopers say 60-year-old Sean Greer of Everett was eastbound when he crashed into a tree after losing control of his bike about 31 miles east of Diablo Lake. Greer was reported missing by his family earlier this week after he left work Friday afternoon. Well, a driver involved in a one-vehicle crash in the Orondo area last night was seriously injured when he was ejected onto the roadway. Orondo Fire, Chelan Fire Rescue, Ballard Ambulance, and Douglas County Sheriff responded to the crash on Brays Loop Road. That's above Sun Cove, just after 6:30 p.m. Tuesday night. The Orondo Firefighters Association reports on their Facebook page that emergency crews found the vehicle overturned in the eastbound ditch. The driver had been ejected during the crash and was found some distance from that vehicle. He was treated at the scene for life-threatening injuries and then transported to Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee. Well, all evacuations have been lifted in the Soap Lake fire area. That's the latest news off the fire lines today as crews continued to work to strengthen containment lines. The fire that burned approximately 2,000 acres of grass, sage, and brush is now 50% contained. There was one small outbuilding that was lost overnight and no injuries were reported. Fire crews patrolled the fire line overnight to watch for hot spots. The Northeast Washington Interagency Incident Management Team 2 has assumed command of the fire, and they've established a command post and fire camp in Soap Lake. Well, Pangbourne Airport welcomes the historic Flight Foundation to Saturday's Aviation Day celebration. The group is flying their P-51B Mustang into the airport later tomorrow morning. The vintage World War II fighter plane will be leaving late Friday afternoon, so you're invited to come visit before then at Pangbourne Flight Center. The group is also bringing in a 1944 DC-3 passenger plane to the airport and will also be offering rides in that aircraft. NCW Life News also was invited for a media ride tomorrow, and we will share that experience with you tomorrow night on the NCW Life Evening News. Well, you're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update with Eric Granstrom and our feature story today. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
In our experience, some people are just cut out for charter college and for success in a new career. These charter types are hard workers. Charter types go above and beyond. And charter types are responsible. If you're ready to get to work making a better future for yourself, you're just our type. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Vominos junk haulers, big or small, they haul it all. Vominos junk haulers are experienced at hauling junk from your household items to yard and construction debris. That old hot tub and eyesore, Vominos, will make it Vominos. Recycling is a priority to Vominos junk haulers. They'll haul away your old appliances and electronics. And for the do-it-yourselfers, Vominos Junk Haulers also rents trucks and trailers. Call Vominos Junk Haulers and Moving Service today to schedule your free estimate. And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy hump day. The Wenatchee Apple Sox turned the tables on a trend over the past two games with a shutout win over Corvallis last night in the Beaver State. Wenatchee was shut out by Portland on only managed 3 hits in 2 games Monday. So nice to see some offense and great pitching Tuesday in the 4-0 victory. It was also the 600th win in franchise history. Curtis Baffis and Troy Strainbrook did the job on the mound for the Sox, combining on an 8-hit shutout with 13 strikeouts between the two. Baffis earned his first victory going 7 innings, 6 hits, 9 Ks. Stainbrook got his first save pitching the final 2 frames, 2 hits, 4 strikeouts. Offensively, Corey Meyer paced Wenatchee going 3 for 4 with a double and run and an RBI. Wenatchee continues that 3-game set in Corvallis tonight. Steen Fredrickson on the mound against the Knights' Connor Knutson. Let's turn to the Les Schwab scoreboard and see what else happened in the West Coast League on Tuesday night. Cowlitz scored 2 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th to tie it, and Austin Bell's RBI fielder's choice in the 11th won it for the Bears. 6-5 win over the Portland Lefties. Arndorfer's walk-off RBI double in the bottom of the 10th scored Jake Holton, and the Bend Elks knocked off the Bellingham Bells 7-6. Victoria brought 12 men to the plate in the top of the 10th inning, scored 6 runs on 4 hits down in Kelowna 13-7. Michael Newstrom pitched 4 innings of perfect relief with 10 strikeouts as Portland overcame Yakima Valley 7-4, and in an odd-league game at Bolesky Stadium, Walla Walla shut out the Highland Bears 4-0. Now, besides the Sox and Knights tonight, the West Coast League schedule has Cowlitz at Port Angeles, Bend hosting Bellingham, Victoria at Kelowna, Portland hosting the Yakima Valley, and Highline at Walla Walla. Mitch Haniger and Ryan Healy each hit 2 home runs in Seattle's 6-3 win over the Halos last night at Safeco Field. Haniger's first hit came at the bottom of the first with a 2-out solo shot, gave the Mariners an early lead. He added 2 more with a 2-run blast in the 5th. Healy helped add on with solo homers in the 6th and 7th. Those offset 2 home runs on the night for Mike Trout. He, by the way, became the first player in history to have back-to-back multi-homer games at Safeco Field. Seattle's 14-hit barrage, including 3 for 4 nights by D. Gordon and Ben Gamble, helped support starting pitcher Mike Leake. He went 6, allowed 1 run on 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, his 7th win of the season. Edwin Diaz came on in the 9th and struck out Trout to end the ball game for his 25th save. Seattle manager Scott Servais said it was a complete team win.
Some balls that were well struck tonight. Really good night for us offensively. Obviously, Mitch Haniger, what a game! Wow, a couple home runs, unbelievable throw. We played pretty good defense. We made some nice plays, a couple errors tonight along the way. But Mike Leake continues to roll. He executing pitches. I thought they put some pressure on him there in the 2nd inning. He threw a lot of pitches. Hit 2nd, 3rd, 1 out. Able to work that or out of that jam with the strikeout and the ground ball, and he got on a nice little roll after that. But I thought he does what he does. He gives us a chance to win. Very competitive and using different pitches on different nights. Really good sinker tonight. Saw a lot of balls on the ground, which was a really good sign there. Like I said, Haniger, awesome night. Healy hits a couple bombs. I thought our offense tonight really had good at-bats, and nice to see D. Gordon get going again. We hadn't seen that in a while, and I know he was in early today, made a few adjustments, and he certainly took it into the game. So, nice to get the series win. Hopefully we can finish him off tomorrow. But it's a good club over there, and they have a pretty good player in their team too. And we saw it again tonight. So, Mr. Trout, he's given me and a bunch and our pitching coaches. He's really tough to pitch to. Some of the pitches he hit out tonight were, kind of where he wanted to throw them, and he still does damage. So, good ball game, and we keep rolling.
Boston comes to town to start a 4-game series tomorrow on the Les Schwab scoreboard in the American League last night. Evan Gattis 2 for 4 with 5 RBIs. Houston down Oakland 6-3. Yasiel Puig was 2 for 4 with a home run and 3 ribbies to help the Dodgers beat the Rangers 12-5. Mariners leading the West, still a half game over Houston. And Seahawks safety Earl Thomas has kept his promise, saying he's going to stay away from mandatory minicamp games. He wants to redo his contract. Head coach Pete Carroll says, I'd like to have him here, but we're going to focus on those who are. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. The cherry harvest is poised to get underway soon, but growers' concerns about a possible labor shortage could spell trouble for the industry again this season. In tonight's feature story, Chelan County Commissioner Doug England, who also manages the Manson Fruit Growers Co-op, says the shortage will mostly impact smaller farms that don't employ migrant pickers with federal H-2A work visas.
It's a popular program, but it's very complicated and it's very expensive. There are a number of growers right now that are very concerned. We've been able to use a little bit growers that are workers that have come in for the cherry harvest, and they just came in a little early. but there are a number of people from that are finding now that their crews from California are not going to be coming up. Some of their Washington crews are not going to be coming over from the other side. And so there is a concern with the small growers for that maybe third of the workforce that they really need to have. We found it hindered us a lot this last harvest. There's an estimated 5,000 people in the basin right now doing nothing but cutting fire blight. But they've notified people that as soon as cherries start, which will be in earnest this next week, that they will be leaving them. And so that's going to be put added pressure on. So it's, I wouldn't say it's adequate. The job is getting done, but not as fast as people would like to see. So there will be a lot of unthinned orchards. We hope that doesn't carry over to harvest.
Meanwhile, the county's state-run cherry worker tent camp at Monitor is starting to fill up as the cherry harvest is expected to start next week here in the Wenatchee area. We'll be back with the recap of some of our top stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
Join the NCW Life channel for live coverage of the commencement ceremonies for Westside High School June 14th and Wenatchee Valley College June 15th. Coverage brought to you by
Charter College. We work to get you to work. Hometown here and across from the mall on Valley Mall Parkway. And by Leonard Evans Used Cars Superstore, where the name means a great deal.
Celebrate with the class of 2018 live on your local TV station, NCW Life channel and ncwlife.com. Walk and Roll Wenatchee's Asian Express is fast, fresh food. Wenatchee Roll's new Poke Hawaiian Fresh Salad Bar is the best. Fresh greens, fresh seafood, and handmade sauces. You know what you want. At Walk and Roll, create your own style meal. Hot off the line chicken, beef, and veggie plates. Lunch or dinner to match your appetite. Fresh sushi, hot entrees, Poke Fresh Salad Bar. It's new. It's Walk and Roll Wenatchee, fast, fresh food your way. Located on 5th and Mission.
Tacos Chava has something new. Customers at Tacos Chava say it's the best Mexican food around. Nachos, enchiladas, tortas, ensaladas. And introducing camarones in many styles. You'll love the fresh salsa bar with so much selection. Are you ready for Tacos Chava? Find them at 2 great locations, the Wenatchee Valley Mall and Eniac. Tacos Chava, tan delicioso.
Welcome back to the NCW Life Evening News. The Gateway Park project at the foot of 9th Street in East Wenatchee is on hold until the City Council can decide on moving forward with higher than expected costs. Discussion on a motion to approve an increase of nearly $130,000 in project costs drew comments both for and against at last night's City Council meeting.
It's just really a bother to me that we're spending this much money down there. And our first discussion about, the cost of that was here, and now it's our projected, and I emphasize projected, is here. I don't know how much higher it's going to go.
The evolution of this project has brought us to where we are now. And I think the responsible thing is for us to move forward and basically do what the citizens who have participated in communicating on this have asked us to do.
I would personally like to see the city come up with some additional funding from some grants or some sponsors. There are lots of, I'm sure there are 20 or 30 or 40 different organizations we could go to and ask, would you be willing to come up with some of the money for this and see if they go with it? I don't think the city of East Wenatchee should pay for the whole thing.
I think our due diligence with the community and getting feedback was really well received. We had a lot of community input. They weighed in heavily, I think, on this and overwhelmingly supported this project.
Following the discussion, Mayor Steve Lacey put the motion to a vote.
So all those in favor of the motion, raise your hands. Those opposed? It's 3-3. That's motion does not carry. It's not necessarily defeated. I guess we'll have another council member in a couple of weeks. We can do some more research.
Like pressure, Shane.
Back up, somebody else might change their mind between now and then, you never know. All right.
Are you not able to break a tie?
I can't break a tie with this fund when it involves an ordinance or a spending project.
Since the motion did not pass, Mayor Lacey tabled the two other motions related to the Gateway Park project until a future meeting. Well, a driver involved in a one-vehicle crash in the Orondo area last night was seriously injured when he was ejected into the roadway. Orondo Fire, Chelan Fire Rescue, Ballard Ambulance, and Douglas County Sheriff responded to the crash. It was on Brays Loop Road above Sun Cove just after 6:30 p.m. Tuesday night. The Orondo Firefighters Association reports on their Facebook page that emergency crews found the vehicle overturned in the eastbound ditch. The driver had been ejected during the crash and was found some distance from the vehicle. He was treated at the scene for life-threatening injuries and then transported to Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee. Time now for a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. But before we do that, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And yeah, it's windy out there today. Winds between 20 and 30 miles an hour as we take a look down at from our cross camera at the Wenatchee Valley, and you can see it shaking around up there. A few clouds out there as well, and even a few sprinkles. And as we get to our surface loop, you can see that we are seeing some shower activity just to the west and just to the north of us. Some has spread over into the north central Washington area. This is at 6 o'clock tonight, and as we move into Thursday, probably our clearest day of all. Less wind tomorrow, even though we'll see a little bit of that in the morning. This is your 5 o'clock precipitation map. Most of the precip will be up to the north in Canada, with just some few scattered showers in western Washington. But that changes somewhat now as we move into Friday afternoon. About a 20% chance of rain then. And you can see on our map we could see some sprinkles by 5 p.m. on Friday. And as we move to Saturday and into our weekend, that'll be a better chance for some rain. About a 30% chance for rain here in Wenatchee. That'll be off and on throughout our afternoon, with the heaviest precipitation, the greens and the yellows, over into where I grew up in northern Montana. But we will see a wet Friday and Saturday, which may even linger into Sunday. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune forecast. Tonight we'll drop down to 52 degrees, 74 for your high on Thursday. Sunny, a bit breezy, but not as bad as today. A 20% chance for rain on Friday and 76, almost 80 on Saturday with a 30% chance of rain. We're going to continue to warm up on Sunday at 82 degrees, just scattered showers then. And then next week, a big warm up happens. 84 Monday, 90 on Tuesday, and weather models beyond that suggesting we may even get into the mid-90s by the end of next week. And as we leave you tonight, yesterday, Commissioner of Public Lands Hillary Franz and Governor Jay Inslee put their skills to the test as they attempted to deploy a wildfire shelter in under 30 seconds.
Begin. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go, we're going, we're doing it. She's in, she's in. She's in a hurry up, I'll tell ya. Okay, here we go.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Okay, we feel. Excellent.
And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around north central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
This is TV. This is TV Set Free. TV everywhere from Localtel sets you free to watch what you want, where you want. Catch your favorite networks, including live TV, ready to watch on any web-connected device for no extra charge. That's TV Set Free. Enjoy the extra value Localtel delivers with TV everywhere. Visit localtel.net and sign up today.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.